is he going to do? Go and make disciples. Very clear. Go and make disciples. There's no ambiguity about the mandate. Go and make disciples. The word to teach there is the word to make disciples. The Greek word matheteo, to make people students. Go and make people students. When a body of believers is not carrying out this, they are dying spiritually. When a body of believers are not carrying out this, they are not effective. Because this is the mandate we all have from God. Now listen carefully. You sent your child to school and the school authorities ask for you to come and pay the school fees of the child. You have 1 week to pay the fees, otherwise there'll be fee drive. And then you go to the school, instead of paying school fees, you went and met the lecturers. Physics lecturer, here's 100,000. You've been looking after my child. Biology, 50,000. English, 10,000. You know, CRK, 45,000. Geography, another 50,000. You gave to all the teachers money. You gave them gifts and hampers for New Year, and you didn't pay the fees. So when it's time for fee drive, your child will be the first to come home, because you're a very stupid man who does not know what the true priority should be. So many churches, they are busy doing all kinds of things minus the mandate. Minus the mandate. So the church can do different things. They can help society, they can tar roads, they can assist government and do governmental projects, they can even be involved in philanthropy. It's beautiful. But the mandate is to go and make disciples. That's the mandate. Go and make disciples. The word teach in the Greek. That's what we call the Great Commission. So the Great Commission is a teaching commission. The Great Commission is a disciple-making commission. That's the mandate Jesus gave to his church when he was leaving the earth in the physical. Go and make disciples. All right? Now, you'll find that word in Matthew 13:52. Matthew chapter 13, verse number 52. PJ. Matthew 13, verse number 52.
Then said he unto them, Therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old.
Every scribe which is instructed, where the scribes were instructed into the kingdom. Look at it again in Matthew the 27th chapter, the 57th verse. Matthew 27:57.
When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple.
This man was a rich man of Arimathea, a wealthy man. He came into the kingdom of God as a wealthy man, loaded. That means irrespective of your status in society, when you come into the church, you must humble yourself to be trained. To be trained to carry out the gospel. So we have a mandate, which is the will of God for every child of God. This mandate is the plan of God, the purpose of God, and the calling of God for all believers. So he says, go and make disciples. In verse 20, he now said, teaching them to observe whatever things I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always till the end of the age. Which means it's about teaching. Make disciples by teaching. The word didasko in the Greek, to teach. Now, to teach what? To teach the things that Jesus taught. To teach the things that Jesus taught. And I'm sure you know that Jesus did not teach commercial subjects. I'm sure you know that Jesus did not teach science subjects. I know you know that Jesus didn't teach technology subjects. Neither did he teach beauty tips. Jesus did not teach on how to overthrow government. Neither did Jesus teach how to run a government. Neither did Jesus teach on the political party to support. Yet he taught what he taught from the scriptures. He taught God's plan, he taught God's purpose, and he taught God's provision. Jesus taught God's plan, God's purpose, and God's provision. Mark, the 16th chapter, the 15th to the 20th verse. Mark 16, 15 to 20.
And he said unto them, Go. And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned.
Next verse.
And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues.
Next verse. Next verse.
They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They
Next
shall
verse.
lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Next verse.
So then, after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God.
Next verse.
And they went forth and preached everywhere, the Lord working with them and confirming the word with signs following.
So if you're a believer of verse 15, 16, 17, and 18, if you are a believer who believes and these signs will follow you, then they went and preached everywhere. The reason why they went to preach everywhere is because they were believers. These signs shall follow believers, and believers went and preached everywhere. So believers answered the call and got involved in the mandate. They answered the call and they got involved in the mandate. So we have a mandate. The mandate is to preach the gospel. The word preach there means to make it known. The word keruso, to announce it, to make others hear it. Because the gospel is not for you to enjoy. The gospel is for you to preach. The gospel is not for you to enjoy. The gospel is for you to preach. So you are supposed to believe it and preach it. The word gospel is the word euangelion or euangelizo.